Welcome back to the Brett Cooper Fan Channel, your number one source for all Brett Cooper related news. And before you say anything, go check out my last 3 videos. Brett Cooper just recently went on Fox and Friends in the morning, and she had a lot to say about Gen Z, young people turning towards MAGA, basically just leaning more conservative. She did a whole 5-minute little segment on Fox and Friends. She gave her thoughts on it, and so I'm just going to play it for you guys, and I'm going to react to it, give my raw thoughts on it, and here we go.
And they really just feel motivated by the future of our country.
Host of the Brett Cooper Show, Brett Cooper joins us now. Hey, Brett.
Hi, happy to be here.
We're so happy you're here because you're a Gen Zer, so you can kind of tell us what your audience is thinking. Because you have 1.2 followers on Instagram, 1.4 on YouTube. When you had your podcast on Daily Wire, you had 9 million viewers. So a lot of young people are listening to you, and that's ages 13 to 28, and you fall in that demographic. What is?
I think when she says 9 million viewers, I think she's talking about all of the social media accounts together. You know, the YouTube had like 4 million, 5 million subscribers, whatever it did. I think it was like 4-point-something million, 4.8, whatever. The TikTok and Facebook, whatever, all the social media platforms. I think that's what they're talking about, not just like the YouTube, just for clarity.
What is it about? Why are more young people liking the Conservative Party?
I think that, Gen Z, we were born into an incredibly new period of time that was very unprecedented. We were raised in division. Like my entire adolescence was basically the first Trump presidency and then Biden. And I think we were just ready for something new, especially after Biden, because obviously the system wasn't working. Everything that we had been promised, everything that Biden had said, from student loans to fixing the economy, it hadn't come to fruition, and it felt like a lot of empty promises. And so in looking at my generation, I think that they realized, let's burn it down, basically. Let's try something new. We're willing to walk away from what we've known and what we've been told is empathetic and inclusive and correct and, what young people should believe. And we were willing to try something new. And Trump is in this new conservative party, and MAGA is, the raging against the machine. And young people are rebellious, and they're willing to try something new. And so I think when they realized that the Democrats were becoming increasingly establishment, when they realized they didn't even get to choose their own candidate, I think that forced them to wake up in a lot of ways. And they know that the economy has not been great. They can't buy homes. They're stressed about their futures. They think that they can't have kids. And so when you hear J.D. Vance saying things like, we're trying to make your life better at CPAC, I think that resonated with a lot of young voters.
Yeah, a lot of.
Okay, so not a bad take, right? But here's my take on it. So what I think the reason why younger people are shifting more towards Trump, Make America Great Again, really just conservatism overall, is, I guess, 2 things. One, first off, I did not agree with her when she said that they're trying something new. Trump's not exactly new. Trump ran in 2016 and won. So I wouldn't exactly call Trump new, but I guess what she's saying is because Gen Z is so young, I guess Trump will be new for them because when Trump first got elected in 2016, Gen Z wasn't even old enough to vote. So that's probably what she's talking about, right? But the other thing, it's not just Gen Z that is moving towards MAGA and conservatism. And I think that's very important to point out. It's actually everybody. It's not just the young people. It's young, old, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. We literally saw this in the voting data. For the first time in 20 years, a Republican candidate, Donald J. Trump, won the popular vote. That alone tells you that the country is shifting more to the right. But even beyond that, in blue states like New York and Illinois and New Jersey, you saw a slight shift to the right. More people voted Republican in Democratic districts in those states than in a very long time. And the reason why I think you're seeing this is because the country, America overall, is more so in the middle. America overall is more so in the middle, but leans conservative. Maybe call it center-right is what I would say. Most people are pretty moderate. There's some things with the Democrats okay, some things with the Republicans okay. Either way, most people are moderate. That's really what it comes down to. And when I say that, I really speak to like a lot of the swing voters. You have a lot of these swing voters who, again, most people are moderate. Of course, you have the cults. You have people who are going to vote blue no matter who. You got the people who are going to vote red no matter what, whatever. But there are a lot of swing voters. And the reason why a lot of people are moving more to the right is because the left has gone too far left. The Democratic Party used to be more so a lot more moderate. Republicans, some people might argue they've gone too far right. That's fine if you feel that way, but people don't feel that way. People think that the right, the Republicans, are more so just regular conservatism and also anti-establishment too. There's another thing behind that too. A lot of people are against the establishment. The Democrats, let's be real, they do represent the establishment. They are the establishment. That's what they represent at this point. The same thing that Bernie Sanders speaks against when he says the billionaires and all the rich people and all the oligarchy. The Democrats are in line with a lot of these people. For example, everybody makes a big fuss about Elon Musk. I'm not exactly a fan of what he's doing either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, defending Elon Musk. I'm just pointing out facts here. With the Democrats, a lot more billionaires and mega rich people are more so associated with the Democratic Party and donate to them. Same thing with CEOs of all these mega companies than with the Republicans. You are seeing a shift now, but if you go back, it wasn't like this. All these big CEOs of these big tech companies, they were all giving money to the Democrats. That's just how it was. The Democrats absolutely 1,000% represented the establishment, and I think what happened is they went too far left. They turned a lot of people off. They just went too far in a lot of the stuff that they were doing, a lot of the bouginess, a lot of this, we're bigger than you, we're better than you, all this elitism. And then you've got this guy, Trump, who's like, screw it, burn it all down, start over, let's do something, whatever. And people are just more drawn to that at this point than what the left or the Democrats are selling. Let's keep playing.
If people think that the younger generation likes the progressive movement because it might be cooler to be progressive and inclusive of everybody, what are you finding?
I think that Gen Z still has those viewpoints. I think that Gen Z in general is still more progressive than other generations, but I think we've realized that that's not the end all be all. Like being inclusive, being empathetic, being a good person does not make our economy better. Being overly loving and tolerant and bending and changing our entire system.
Well, let me just say this. Let's just be honest here. Being conservative is kind of cool right now. Like it just is. And I think part of that too of why Gen Z is moving towards there is because honestly, that's the trend. Think about it. What's Gen Z watching? Nelk Boys, Logan Paul, Theo Vaughn, right? These young people, especially young men, are watching all of these types, even Logan Paul, right? Who do they all support? Trump. Who do they all vote? What do they stand for? Conservatism. That's kind of the trend too. Right now, being a Trump supporter, being a conservative, being America first, all those different things, that's trendy right now. That's what's in. You do that, you're cool, you're normal, you're celebrated. Being a lefty with blue hair, and I'm just being honest, not really cool anymore. So I think part of it is that too. For right now, for the time being, I don't know if it will change. It might. But for right now, being pro-Trump and pro-America and pro-strength and anti-war and all this stuff, that's what's trendy right now. Let's keep going.
Society for a small minority of people, a small fraction of people in these, intersectional communities, that is not going to make our lives better. And I think that they have been taunted and jeered at and been told that they are inherently racist or inherently homophobic for, making a joke. I think that they finally just snapped and they said this.
Yeah, I'll be quick with this one, but I agree. I 1,000% agree. And that's part of what I say when I say the Democrats went too far left. It got to the point where you can't have an opinion on anything regarding any of that stuff, regarding race, gender, anything, or you're called these names. You're racist, you're homophobic, you're terrible. You couldn't have an opinion on anything. And I really think people got tired of that. I know this segment's about Gen Z, but I really think the older people especially got tired of that. And they're like, I just kind of want to go back to more normalcy. And they felt that voting for Trump and all that would be a ability to go back to normalcy. Honestly, the main reason why people voted for Trump obviously is because the finances. They were tired of inflation kicking their butt and the price of goods went up so bad and, that whole thing. But let's keep going.
This isn't creating any tangible change for my future.
Right. And what about Gen Zers with Trump's first 100 days or first, well, he's been in for what, a month and we're in week 5.
Yeah. I think that Gen Z right now, the reason why he won was because of new media in conservative for Gen Z, in my opinion, because he was on shows like Rogan, he was on shows like Theo Von, he was doing things with the Paul brothers. You were seeing him driving trash trucks. It was, he was viral. He was
working
everywhere.
at McDonald's.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that in order to keep that Gen Z energy, even though obviously he's very busy and he's doing what he should be doing, I think tapping back into that kind of media and continuing to go on those podcasts because that's how he'll tap back into Gen Z. Because unfortunately, Gen Z isn't watching C-SPAN. They are not checking X every morning like I do. Most of my peers are not checking X every morning. Like, what executive order did he sign? They're going on TikTok. They're listening to their favorite podcasts. And so I think a great thing for him to do would be to keep reaching them in that regard because that's how they're going to stay in touch. And I think right now they're probably skating by, you know, keeping tabs and checking in. But I think until he reaches them again through media or until tangible change is made when they start feeling the impacts of his economic policy specifically, I think that's when it'll really click and they'll be happy about that.
Well, I'm so proud of you. Your story is incredible. You were going through a crisis when you graduated because you were a COVID student.
Yes.
And then you started working. You didn't know what to do after college. You started working for PragerU, and then you got this huge following. So you're really making a difference.
I'm very, very grateful and honored to have the following I do.
Well, we're grateful to you, too. Thank you so much.
Okay, so yeah, that's her segment right there. Just turn that off real quick. The other thing I want to say too is the Democrats are in a lot of trouble because they don't really have stars, at least young stars. The Republicans have a bunch. They have so many. Even the two at the Daily Wire who are no longer there, Brett Cooper and Candace Owens, stars, young. Brett Cooper's really young. The Democrats, when it comes to media, they don't have like young stars that have their own independent platforms that are doing very well. Like if we just do the Republicans, just the right conservatives, Patrick Bet-David, Candace Owens, Brett Cooper, Charlie Kirk. If you want to count Tim Pool, you know, there's just so many. And they all have these ginormous followings. And if you look at the left, I can't really think of anybody. Don Lemon's channel is trash. He barely gets any views. Chris Cuomo, same. It's really just networks. And Joy Reid just got fired today. Like her show just got kicked off of MSNBC. But yeah, most of the media or mouthpieces for the left are all on these big networks that are dying, that are losing ratings to these YouTubers on the right. And so I wanted to speak to that too, because yeah, the Democrats are going to have to really revamp their entire media strategy if they want to reach the young people in Gen Z. Because right now, I'd say the right has a huge stronghold on Gen Z right now. Because like I said, all the top people are conservative and Trump supporters. And these young Gen Zers are not watching MSNBC during the, you know, they're just not. So anyway, Brett Cooper's on Fox News. Want to react to that real quick. Let me know what you guys think in the comments as always. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys, you know, all that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.